So, oh, sorry. So, hi again, this is me. I will continue to talk about the aura now. Actually, I will try to be a little bit even more focused, if possible. I may repeat myself, but first, how to learn to see the aura itself. I haven't gotten to that until now, so what you can do is the way you do to see the aura is more of a physical adjustment rather than like a metaphysical one. Although you need to like relax, so you need to like train those whatever they are called in English, tappar och stavar, those things in the eye. I wonder if I should have had a picture of the eye, so you could, like a image of how it is and how to do that. Anyways, I don't have that, so. Anyways, it's an ability in the physical eye. You see it physically, so. But to interpret what it is that you see, I will get into more how to see also. But it is about training an ability or kind of a muscle, you can say, or certain parts of the eye. But the difficult thing is rather to interpret, and there you need to use your metaphysical or intuitive understanding. And that was what I didn't understand when I started seeing auras everywhere. Oh, my little kitty. Hey, babe. What? So, and so there are various ways to see it also. You can also see it with your intuition and with your inner eye if you close your eyes, and that is obviously not physical as such. Oh, she wants to play with me instead. Okay. So the third eye, as it is called, or in Muneki, all of the chakras is called Navis eyes. But the third eye is in the center of the forehead, and that is what you open up. But you also see it visually through your eyes. Those other two eyes. Here are the regular eyes. Yeah. So to learn to trust all your three eyes, even all those chakras, but anyways, just those three to begin with, is a good thing. So you learn to understand the colors, and with the help of guides or your inner wisdom or intuition, you will know what needs to be addressed first or adjusted in some kind of way if you want to help others with what you see, for example. And when you feel colors, as far as they are also labeled like that, but if you see blue, you're probably associated with something more cold than red, that is more heated or powerful or so. And there are many, as I said, there are many correspondences to the colors and so on, but yeah, I will maybe get into that too. But when you see it in your inner eyes, if you close your eyes and see with your inner vision, then you are also in touch with that person's guides and your own. So they will show you how this aura look and in what shape it is. So you can train it in that way. And then you will also know exactly what you need to kind of fix or heal, and what color you may need to add to balance it. Yeah. And when you look at it physically with your open eyes, then you first obviously see through your own aura, so it will be influenced a little bit by that. So before you can see and tap into there, and therefore also when you are several people looking at someone's aura, it may vary because you also see through your own layers or preconceptions, even you can call it actually. But it's good to learn to see the aura in all these three ways. It can seem as if it is difficult, but it's way simple. Yeah. So it's good to know how a whole aura should look like. I mean, when it's in good shape, so to speak. And the opposite way as well. So I should have used images here for that. But maybe if I do some sort of video where I actually film, I can show or draw some images of what that would be like, approximately so. But you can also Google that, of course. And you can also start with, I always call them pointers. Can I stop calling them that? You know, those where you have when you can also have branches when you seek for water, and what are they called? Anyways, you can use those kinds of things, or a pendulum as well, as tools when you learn to see or feel. Then you get an additional help to register certain things, and so you can use that as a tool to measure the aura of others, or the colors even, or the color you have in others. So you need to trust that. If you start to work with a pendulum, is it called? And then you need to trust it and get to know it. As well as you get to know a person, you need to get to know your pendulum to be able to trust its messages. So, and if you use those other tools, like I have those hard copper wires that are bent so that I can hold them. They are like they work amazingly well. Anyways, you can use them. Also, when it comes to ley lines and so on, you can track. But anyways, they are not as personal as if you use a pendulum. So, so these are maybe a complicated way to describe all this, but yeah, it's not difficult. And all these additional things, you don't need them. I have not used pendulums much in this case, or ever those other tools. I've used it for other things when I've lost something or something like that, and the ley lines and so. But otherwise, I haven't used that. So it's not necessary. It's just tools you can use if you wish to, and try to get affirmation as well. If someone else, for example, if you are a few, which sometimes is easier, then if they don't know what you feel or so on, someone can test with the pendulum, and you will see that they also, the response they get will be the same as you felt with your hands, let's say, or so on. So you can trust the information or the things you feel. You know, it's a way to start to actually open up to see or feel these layers in the subtle world, let's say, or other dimensions. So and I mean, I had described it. So a healthy aura is oval shaped, and it surrounds the whole body, even beneath the feet and above the head and around. And there are no like cuts or holes or so on in it, and aura that is weaker or hurt in a way, it does have a different shape, as well as openings or scars or cuts. You can see it looks quite different than a a healthy one. So if it's injured, it looks like injuries actually. So and it's 3-dimensional, as I said. I mean, the aura is actually all kinds of dimensions, but the way you look at it when you use it this way, as we are multidimensional in all kinds of ways also. But anyways, so it's like an egg shape, and it widens like underneath your feet, a bit underneath and a bit above your head. And it's have this strong vibration. You can also hear it sometimes, like crackling, or like when it's high tension in like electricity or so, you can hear the aura sometimes. If you practice that. And we all have easier access to certain inner senses as well as the outer ones. So some people may not hear it. Actually, there is a good... but you haven't maybe heard that. But you know those northern lights. Sometimes when you see them, when they are close, they coil like a snake and move. I don't know if you have seen that ever, but up here north, it's amazing. And sometimes when they move, you really hear the northern lights. Like it sounds like that, almost like in the sky. It's those. The energy of it. I love to hear it. But anyways, that's everyone hears that. That's nothing you need to train to hear. But in this case, you need to open up, and you don't need to hear it. But if you hear it, you will also hear a difference, whether it's a healthy aura or not. So if you have been abused, or if you have had traumatic experiences, which all of us more or less have in one way or another maybe, but anyways, you will have like leaks or holes in the aura where your energy leaks out. If you have been raped or certain things that have happened to you. And also that's why some people who have experienced traumatic things, then later on they may get sick, and that is not because of the event that happened, but because of the weakening of the aura field, which is that energy field informs the body with its health. So yeah, they can be very sick, even in their soul, so to speak, which is the aura kind of. That's the soul you see, you can say. You can heal it. It takes somewhat time and effort in a way, but also depending on what measures you use. As I said, Kundalini Yoga is a very brilliant and very quick way to heal it if you use those techniques. But there are various ways, but you can absolutely do that, and it's crucial for you if you want to feel good, if you have been through things that have caused you a lot of stress or sadness. It can even be like grief or stuff like that hang on, like it things that don't feel good to you, that still lingers in your energy. You know that without calling it that exactly maybe, but so and if kids have those aura fields, they have often then been abused of some sort. So usually they have this very strong energy field. And also when it comes to, I always kept this idea before, as I don't read people, mediumship readings or psychic readings, or which this is in a way, this is reading energy if you check people's auras, but actually I could not avoid seeing them before. I just didn't know how to interpret them. But now, I mean, also I couldn't choose, so I always saw it. So you can't say that I did something wrong, but some people say that you should never do that without that person allowing you to do it. And as I said, I don't try to read people without their permission. But I now would. No, I wouldn't read people. I wouldn't read people. I mean, if there is a problem, for example, I would communicate with the spirit guides and ask them for guidance or help what to do with the situation rather than read someone. If I felt the need in relation to them, maybe I would ask for, but still I wouldn't read that person. But when it comes to this thing of seeing and reading the aura, I actually have changed my mind there. I don't view it that way, that it would be an invasion of their privacy sort of or so on to see their aura. It depends on if I would go deep into reading them, but just to it's like the same way as you can feel other people's mood or so on. I mean, if you have the ability to pick up those things and your intent is not to manipulate or hurt or harm anyone, I don't see how that is something that would be harmful for others, and it could help yourself a whole lot, and myself a whole lot. So I really need to turn that on, switch it on like full force. I think would be awesome. And it would have been awesome if I would have done that before. Oh my. But better late than never. But to some people that is a rule kind of that you should not ever break. I don't believe in rules. I am an anarchist now. Newborn anarchist. And that is very interesting when I want to talk about these things. You know, there are so many things I want to talk about. Oh my. This morning even, this is so upsetting in a way. Oh gosh, I shouldn't talk about it even now. Why? In the midst of all this aura stuff. But it was about, the news, you know, about all this, about the hospital care and all the money there. And it is all things, you know. And this facade of things. It's so upsetting. I mean, yeah, I don't know even where to go with that. But the whole fact of I still don't want to promote a certain kind of group that talks about this because I don't know all the things around that. But it bothers me that there is not economic democracy in this country, and that the fact that the common the economy that is used in society as a whole comes from private interests, and that it's the whole system is built on more and more debt. Everything we kind of buy, we kind of pay to get more depth. Not depth, depth. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I start to laugh because I suck at describing these things, but things have changed so much in my way of viewing things. So I get upset all the time now. Yeah. It's very difficult, and also it's difficult to shut up. It's difficult to see all these things and be quiet. How do you do that? When everything, I mean, you constantly get fed, you get fed all these lies as if when they have all those analytics, I don't know, bullshit that goes on, which is not even close to touching on to what is actually going on. Bothersome. That is bothersome. Well, I'm sorry about that little sidetrack. Yeah, but also when it comes to this anarchy thing, that is my new happy place, kind of. Being in this field of spirituality and really doing this all the time. This is my passion and love, and I love to do it, and I see how that helps myself but also others, and how I can be of help to the world and others. And I want to dream in this greater vision of what can be instead of the stuff that goes on now. but anyways, so yeah. Oh, there are so many thoughts in my head now, but it's really maybe hard for someone to understand how you can be a spiritual anarchist. Maybe I should call myself that. Hey, I'm the spiritual anarchist, not the catalyst or something that Thiel calls it. But I'm actually, and I have always been, actually. I never knew, I never figured that word would match, actually, because they say, like, no gods, no masters, or however. Maybe it's the other way around, but... and that is something I always followed. Master in the case that it depends on what you mean with that also, but not like masters as above, but masters as sometimes someone knows things better and you can learn from them, whatever it is skill people have, they are masters in that field and you can learn from others. But no one like above anyone else. And also when it comes to the spiritual path, oh, how much I drift. I should talk about the aura now. That is the case. I mean, at the end of the line, if you say, or at the, if you would ever call it enlightenment, which I have not achieved, let's say, but there is nothing you achieve actually. But I have some little glimpse, as some would call it, a touch of it, and that's why I sound like this. No, but yeah. So then that's the truth of it. That's really the enlightened perspective, honestly. Unless you're a spiritual anarchist, then you are caught up in illusion. Then you trust something that is not real, and you hold on to things to soothe yourself with your own ideas about whatever. And that is a path. The thing is, you can't skip steps. You have to. I don't regret that I went to those children's school because there was no other place where spirituality, nature itself was the spiritual place, and that was the core in my mind and world. But aside from that, the way it was taught in a children's mind, but although those stories I still have these children's Bible that I had then, and that is right, like super brutal. I will read from that sometime and show you. I have written like blood all over the place, but it's like dramatic. Not that I want to promote that exactly, but I mean, kids are very spiritual and they can see much. I mean, they can understand allegory. Is that the word? I mean, in just a natural way. They pick up spiritual things very easily. That's like I don't know how to describe it. But anyways, what I want to say is that the path of those puzzle pieces or those things that I have come in contact during my path forward, and also that have opened up understanding that I didn't have before. I mean, to be locked in, let's say, to be... what is the word? Agnostic or atheist or so. Agnostics, they are like not sure, so that's a better space, I guess. But if you are an atheist, that's a stuck place. That's a belief as much as faith in some specific thing is. I mean, then you don't have an open mind, as Frank Zappa said, or someone might have to be open, Yeah. But he didn't say it like that, but he said something good around that fact. Yeah. But Yeah, no one would listen to me, I know. I'm sorry. I just need to express myself still. As long as I'm here, I will keep going. Yeah. And make you fall asleep. I want to wake you up. I want to wake myself up even more. Yeah. Sadly, I push everyone away. Not everyone, but those that I would maybe want to be in contact with. I'm not sure they want to be in contact with me. So yeah. I have to find other ways then. But you know, yeah. If you're an atheist, that's not like, or that, I mean, like this, when it comes to anarchy, it becomes like a strong positioning almost only to rebel against something or to deny something, or, you know, protest only. You know, that's what I thought it was, until I realized the beauty of it. And in that case, yeah, no, I won't go further into this, but it's like, yeah, I'm a spiritual anarchist, and that's really lovely to be. It doesn't mean that I can use all kinds of spiritual tools, I can use all kinds of spiritual traditions, or stories, if you say. It doesn't mean that I dismiss or cling to any of them. It's just that if it's useful or not, that's the interesting thing. And some of it is really, maybe all of it in some cases, are very useful and healing. So depends on how you use it and when and for whom and whatnot. But anyways, you don't really need to be trapped or ruled by it. That's the anarchy part of it. Yeah, you're the master. Always. You're God. Goddess. And so. Well, that was that little preacher thing. No. Okay, going on to this whole... I will show you pictures to come also. But it seems like it's more complicated than it actually is to see the aura. But if you just look at a dot, you can... I mean, if it's just a white page with a dot, quite a large dot in the center, a black one, then you can... If you try to look at something like that with a weak or like lazy eye, then you will soon see a white ring around that circle, that dark or black circle, you know. If you hold it further away, like 2.5 meters away or so on, it's easier. But try to do this a few minutes every day, maybe 3 minutes a couple of times a day, and just to be aware of this shining. It's like the contrast, you can call it that also, because that's what you see sometimes also when you start out and there, you know, those contrast colors. So if you see one color and the color side of it, or if you close your eyes, you will see that same object in your inner eye, but it's the contrast color. But that's not the aura, but that's practicing like to open up, you can say. So, and then you can also have 5 dots, like in the square, 1 in the center and 4 in the corners, and then move your eyes from the left corner to the middle, and so on. Focus on the center dot and move, and so on. Then from the right corner to the center, and so on. And I hope you understand what I'm describing now. But if you do this practice, you exercise your eyes so that soon those colors will appear. Those movements of the eyes, they are trained. So, yeah. And how is that also that you can perceive colors from black or white then? It's because black and white is not really colors. those contain all colors in them, or well, the white contains maybe all colors, right? And the black contains those, what are they called? There are different words for various colors. And sorry, I don't have that in my mind right now. But yeah. I think it is specifically white, like light, that includes all colors. But black also have all those, what are they called? I'm sorry, I should know this beforehand. Well, you can Google about colors more. I will talk about it more when I know what the words are. Even in Swedish, I don't know the words for those exactly now. Yeah, but like black contains those like red, blue. I mean, there are certain colors that are just what are they called? Like basic. Never mind that. I will come back to it. Anyway, so when you move your eyes from dot to dot like that, until you get used to that, you can start to see the aura, just or the colors, just by themselves without doing that practice. And also, if you have images of, for example, a black background with a white star at the center, and you have two similar ones, you can, beside each other, you can shift in between them, and then you will see that they aren't as vivid, both of them. So, and if you move your eyes like that in between those two, you soon will start to see the aura very clearly. So this is to train your eyes, practices to train your eyes to see colors around, that surrounds items, or auras of people or so on also. So it's to learn to focus on contrast. Yeah, so and then also when you practice this, you will also start to be able to hold this vision of the aura even when you close your blink or your eyes with your eyes, or close your eyes for a moment or so on. And then you will also start to see other how the color shifts in this aura field as well after a while. I wish I did describe it better and didn't jump into other things that are in my mind, but that's how I do it. Yeah, and also the first practice there where you have a white background with a quite large black dot. First you will see it as that, but after a while it will seem to be as if it's just an outer circle and it's white at the center as well as the outside of it, yeah. But to do this is very good to do if you want to learn how to see the aura. It's good to do these practices every day, as long as you feel good about doing them anyways. They are not difficult, and you can draw them yourself if you want to. Yeah, but you will have to have them quite large still, so that you can have them a bit far from you, not close to your face. But that may work too, but it's easier if they are a little bit further away. So, and then as I explained also, you can see the aura around your hand or both your hands. So if you have a black background, or if it's totally white, it depends. Some people see better in darkness. I have only done it that time I talked about when I first saw the aura, I think. But you can try it out, what works best for you. So you can hold your hand or hands over a white paper, for example, and then you will see the white outlinings outside of your fingers and your hand. Or if it suits you better to have something dark in the background, but you will start to see that ethereal first layer easily. So yeah, and you can practice with flowers or even furniture, although they are not alive objects as such, but still they contain a lot of the aura of those people who have been sitting in them. So the energy of furniture is also easy to see sometimes. And you can also have a friend or someone who could stand in front of a white wall, and then you will easily perceive their aura. Or a pet or a child or so on, if you ask them first. You don't have to ask your pet, but yeah. If you don't know how to communicate with animals, then you can. So they will walk away if they don't like it. So yeah, so I could describe this better, but you can't ask me questions because I don't read your comments here. So I hope you have had some. If this, I hope this is good for you in some kind of way. Anyways, yeah. And you can also go back and repeat those basic practices to just train your eyes. Yeah. So the more you practice and when it comes to the aura colors, I mean, they can contain all colors, but the chakra colors from the base to the crown chakra is like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple, as most people see it, or violet, or white at the top. And when you also start to see contrast, it's easier. I mean, you can practice visualizing, just focusing on visualizing yourself without trying to perceive someone's aura, and just that's like creating or magic, actually. If you think about a color and you can close your eyes. It's maybe easier from the beginning, and decide to see a certain color. And if you want to see a color within that color, or another shape, or a background with one color and a shape in front of it with a different color, it's easier to work with contrasts. But that's also a way to strengthen this inner seeing, or which also is the outer seeing, so to speak. But the thing is, when you practice that in your inner mind, the things you see with your closed eyes, as I see as clearly as with my open eyes, then that is the same abilities as you use when you see both, when you have your eyes open and see both the inner vision and the outer at the same time. I hope you got it, what I said now. Was this too much already? maybe I should pause now as well. God, this became many many Okay, I will just pause because yeah. Also, I don't know for how long I will be alone now, but maybe I will focus better. But this was a little bit information anyways, how you can start to practice it. You can do it in many kinds of ways though, but that's one. Yeah. Oh yeah, there are so many things so many things in my mind, but I will keep focusing on the spiritual stuff. Although, yeah, there are so many things you immediately, when you speak, I mean, especially when you come across like news or certain public information of sorts and so on, and you realize that this is not, people are not aware of this, certain things like this whole school system that we are taught in, that our kids are taught in. I call them our kids because, yeah, they are in a way. That is like built on ideas from the Nazi time, and the idea to raise a population that would be indoctrinated, you could say. I mean, that would be like slaves. That would be taught, but not taught to think themselves. So the whole system is really, 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 really something we should question. And a lot of this is so hidden. Or rather, it's obvious, it's there, but it's like pushed aside so that we shouldn't care about that. The spotlight is always shining in another direction, and so we miss out on the most important things that influence our kids and our world and ourselves all the time. And I cannot really ignore that, although my focus should really mainly be on this working on this spiritual and energetic plane. But you cannot unknow what you know or what you have seen or heard. Then suddenly you see the scam, if that's the right word. You see there is so much of the information that is just there to fool us, almost all of it. And that's it for today. This information, though, is true. No, I'm just kidding. It sounds very much like a lie. But it is. Try these practices and you will know yourself. That's the thing with experience. That's a good way of learning things. That your experience will also show you what is true and what is not. Yeah. You don't have to trust in someone else, really. You can to some degree, or you can decide to until they show you something else. But you don't have to when it comes to a lot of things. You can try them out yourself and learn and know. So my spirituality, aside from being a spiritual anarchist, it's an experimental and experiential path that give me the answers. I don't have to trust in anything someone say, But I don't have to distrust it either. I can be open to that. That can maybe be the case, and also discover whether or not it is for me, anyways. And I'm very curious, and I love to do that. It's a fun thing. Yeah, and without that, I would not cope to see these other things, because it would be too heavy to not understand that all these other things also goes on, and there is a purpose, and there is something good that holds this whole thing, this whole changes that goes on, and there is a good thing of things being revealed, and that things also crash down and all those things. That's good, although not necessarily pain-free. So, yeah. Ending with this now. Thanks for being there, and we will talk again, I'm quite sure. Bye for now.